It's really interesting that you're finding the agencies are all saying, well, we don't know what's going to be involved, so we don't know how it's going to work. And it ends up being a bit of a stonewall for somebody like you who's trying to get information on behalf of the Australian people. I've found the same situation on the other side, and that is when you explain what all the potential consequences, working within the very limited information we have, could be, you get accused of being misleading when the fact is the really misleading thing is that there's no detail being provided so that Australians can decide for themselves what risks exist and how serious they are. What was interesting was that Morrison also took the opportunity in his speech to hit out at sporting codes who've been vocal in their support. Take a look at this.
This referendum is not a decision for companies or unions or sporting codes or any other group. While keenly interested in the NRL's opinion on hip drop tackles and the 6 again rule, I don't think I'll be referring to them for constitutional advice in making my decisions on this matter.
Now, I don't reckon he'd be alone in that thinking. Is there any reason that voters should be listening to the administrators of sporting bodies for advice on serious constitutional changes?
Well, exactly right. I mean, I wouldn't go to them on advice as to, how governance in the administration of Indigenous corporations should be, for best practice in terms of governance. I wouldn't go to them on information for that. I wouldn't go to them for their advice on how to deal with the issue of domestic and family violence in remote Indigenous communities or the high rates of child neglect, sexual abuse in Indigenous communities. So why would we go to them? Why would we want to know what their views are on this issue of the voice, which has been palmed off as being, about the vibe? It's the right thing to do. It's all those things. It's, pulling on people's emotional heartstrings. But when, the NRL or the AFL can't provide the unequivocal evidence that the lives of our most vulnerable Indigenous Australians are going to be improved through this, why would we go to them for any of that advice? I mean, Scott's completely right. We'd go to them with matters relating to sport, the sporting codes, their games, the league, their leagues. But why would we go to them on issues as important as improving the lives of our most vulnerable Indigenous Australians?